Welcome to Civics in a Year, the podcast that makes civic literacy fast, accessible, and surprisingly engaging. In just 10 minutes an episode, we'll tackle one of 250 essential questions about American democracy, how it works, why it matters, and what it means for you. Whether you're a student, a teacher, or just someone who wants to better understand your country and your rights, you're in the right place. Civics in a Year is powered by the Civic Literacy Curriculum from the Center for American Civics and is produced in partnership with the School of Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership at Arizona State University.
Hi, my name is Jefferson, and I'm in 4th grade. My question is, why is the Declaration of Independence so important?
All right, thank you so much for that question. I am very excited because today's scholar is Dyer. He is the Dean of UT Austin School of Civic Leadership, and he is here to answer the question, why is the Declaration still important today? Dr. Dyer?
Well, thanks for having me. It's a great question. I think there are several different ways you could answer that. One is that the ideas in the Declaration of Independence are still relevant to us today. It begins by proclaiming these ideas that are theoretically true at all times and all places, not just bound to the time in which they're written, saying that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that the purpose of government is to secure those rights, and that the just powers of government come from the consent of the governed. And so I think thinking through those ideas and how they apply today is still relevant. But in addition to that, the Declaration has also been extremely impactful, not just in our own country, but worldwide. It inspired other movements toward independence. It inspired other countries to adopt the same principles or to engage with those principles. And in American history, the principles of the Declaration of Independence have been contested over time, but different groups have always appealed to them in the service of their own reform movements. And you see that in the 19th century, you see it in the 20th century. I think you still see that in the 21st century. And so it remains a vital source of American ideals and a way of structuring our own disputes about how best to apply those today.
So as an American, we are in a time of, there's lots of social media. Information is so easily received. What does that look like, when we're talking about the Declaration of Independence? What does that look like then if I am an 8th grade student, or I'm a senior in high school, or maybe a freshman in college? How can I kind of relate to the Declaration and its importance today, living in this world of technology and so much quick change?
There's a lot of quick change, and in the Declaration, there is a flag that's being planted about truths that transcend what is the issue of the moment. And so, of course, it blends those things. It's a document that is written with very particular issues in mind. It's a foreign policy document. If you read all of the charges that are leveled against the king at the end of the document, those are very specific charges rooted in a time and a place. But even those charges against the king appeal to things that transcend that particular moment. And so they're all related to the principles of constitutional government. Should we have independent courts? Should judges be dependent on the will of the executive? Should people be able to stand for trial for crimes they have alleged to commit in a place close to where they committed the crimes? There are all these principles that are embedded even in those charges against the king that are relevant to us today. And then, of course, these big statements of principle at the beginning of the Declaration of Independence remain relevant to us today. In what sense are we all equal? And is that true? And if true, what does that mean for how we live together, for how we make decisions, for how we govern ourselves? And so I think all of what we see in the Declaration of Independence really transcends that moment and helps draw us out of the current disputes that we're always in. And I think that social media works very hard to suck us into at all times.
So these principles and these kind of questions are evergreen. Do you think, next year we're celebrating America 250? And do you think that when we get to 300, 350 years and beyond, that kind of foundation will still be there to help guide what we want as Americans?
If those ideas are true, if they tap into something real, then they'll always be relevant. But even when they were being put forward in the late 18th century, they were contested at the time. They've always been contested throughout American history. There are people who point to them, question whether or not they're valid and in what sense, and who dispute whether or not these things are true. But if true, then they will always guide us. And I think as we move into a new era, we think about, what does artificial intelligence mean for humanity? What does it mean for human equality? What is our various ideas about government and the complexity of human life and trying to govern from ocean to ocean with more people and different challenges? How do these principles apply? I think it's relevant at America 250, and I think it'll be relevant at America 300.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for this. Listeners, if you want to learn more about Dr. Dyer, UT Austin School of Civic Leadership, I will put that in the show notes. Dr. Dyer, you've written a lot of books and have publications kind of on these traditions. So thank you so much for your time today. It is greatly appreciated.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Civics in a Year. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who cares about a constitutional republic as much as you do. For more episodes, resources, and updates, follow us on social media or visit us at civics.asu.edu. Make sure to check out the show notes for any relevant links. Special thanks to the United States Marine Band for their performance of the Stars and Stripes Forever. Let's keep building a stronger constitutional republic, one episode at a time.